I was watching a show last night on the Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh, yeah, I read your tweet.
Were you booing the TV?
No, I was not. I was definitely interested and fascinated. They're just amazing men, absolute heroes, and just class guys. They had some of the real pilots were being interviewed for this show, and just intelligent, articulate, funny, and not like portrayed in the movie.
Oh, really?
Where everything has to be like jive and like, yeah, Mr. Hitler. There was no jive talking or anything like that. They're pilots, and they presented themselves as the class acts that they knew they had to be to transcend the racism that was going on in the military and in the country.
You're saying they were misrepresented in the movie?
I was saying
if they were, they have to
Do you
be
mean
pissed
that
off by
movie
that.
or all movies?
well, all movies.
I didn't see the Tuskegee Airmen movie.
It's all movies, and the fact of the matter is, like rap artists and stuff are looked up to, and fucking the black culture is so full of like the negative stereotypes and whatnot. And these guys should be looked at as heroes and things to aspire to, because they were amazing. They fought in World War II, and then they had one of the guys that was talking about it, and it's just fascinating stories of combat and dog fighting and stuff.
It's not like white kids are looking up to like white heroes. They're looking up to like Justin Bieber and shitty people like that.
You know what? It's not permeating the culture as badly as some of the negativity and prison culture and gangster culture that is permeating some of the black community like this. The thing I noticed was these guys had to prove themselves, and they did. They went above and beyond at a time when, people throw around the word racism now over nothing. You criticize a black person, you're a racist. These guys faced fucking racism. They have one of the guys talking about when they get done, he flew all his missions, he was shot down, he was captured, he was a prisoner. Finally the war ends, he comes back on the boat. They did all this, buddies died, all this shit. They get off the boat in New York, and he goes, and right there at the bottom of the plank, a guy was going, whites to the left, niggers to the right. And he goes, Jesus Christ, I fucking fought. Those guys faced fucking racism.
And that's why, as annoyed as I get at political correctness, and I fucking hate it, and I hate it's just an overreaction to that. This is the pendulum, it's just gone the other way, but it's all a reaction to that shit.
But it's insulting to these guys, the guys that deserve the hero worship, to call out someone as a racist for criticizing a black person. Yeah. These guys faced real racism. Yeah. They knew what it was like. They literally risked their lives. Some of them lost their lives, and then they were treated like shit for many years after that.
But that's what bugs me about our country. It's like that, like the people. Like that, America, the way we look at ourselves now, we're a very fair place. We're a very open place. That's exactly how we saw ourselves then. It's not like in the 40s, America went, wow, we really are kind of shitty and unfair to a lot of people. Never. If you said that you were a communist or a non-patriot, people in America looked at ourselves in the 40s as a great oasis of freedom.
Right.
And yet that was happening. There was that underlying lie.
But by 48, they started integrating. It wasn't a segregated army anymore.
What year did these guys do that?
That was in the 40s, from 1941 up to 45. And then by 48, they realized, we got to stop segregating the armed forces. We can't have two armies and two air corps and everything like that. So they started. So it did start building.
Right.
But the thing is, and regardless, the wrongs that happened and everything, they had to prove themselves, and they did. Through hard work, instead of making an excuse, they proved themselves. Should they have had to have? No. But they knew that that's what they had to do, and they did it. And to watch these guys talk just eloquently speaking, and they went through so much. It was really an amazing thing. If you get to see it, it was called Air Aces on the military channel on the Tuskegee Airmen. Just a great show. Did
the movie show them like accurately or no?
Well, the movie, no, it was George Lucas, so it was mostly action. And I don't think, here's the problem. I don't think a lot of young black guys want to see black guys unless they're speaking, like their favorite fucking rap artists. So if you go to a movie and you see someone talking like an Uncle Tom, you're not going to look at him with any hero worship. He's going to be some fucking asshole that's, kowtowing to the man. So they kind of jive him up a little bit, yeah, Mr. Hitler.
Did they really say that in the movie?
These guys were like, they're aviated. They fucking flying planes. They're very smart.
Yeah.
They the way they spoke about it, the way they conveyed the stories of their battles was amazing. It wasn't done with any fucking shucking and jiving.
Although the movie bombed.
It bombed. It totally bombed.
Yeah, people still saw it.
Yeah. Well, the movie sucked.
Right.
I didn't think the movie was a good, accurate portrayal.
Who starred in that?
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard was in it.
Are you feeling all right?
Why?
I don't know. You're defending black people.
No, I'm defending. I'm actually
Is this
not.
opposite day?
I'm insulting.
Yeah, no, he's not defending
I'm insulting
black people.
young black people that won't look further than a fucking
But he is defending black
rap
people.
artist or prison culture as something that should be aspired to.
There's a spin in it, but he is defending black people.
He's defending black people back then in reference to what they're not doing now.
But the passion is a little strange
an
to me.
amazing time for these young black pilots, and it was just
for these colored fellas.
For the colored pilots, yes.
Right.
In defending black people, he's saying that he is very anti
Other black people.
of
That's
2013.
the genius. That's the genius of Anthony. He is now using black people to go after other black people.
Right.
Damn, I'm so
the point of his
transparent.
Wow. Okay, now I get it. all.
He's using the Tuskegee, how do you say it? Tuskegee Airmen to bludgeon young black males with.
Oh,
And he's
man.
using words like eloquent.
Yes, yes.
And well-spoken.
Well spoken. Those are key phrases.
Those are key words because then it's implying
Thus
that
then.
now they're not.
That's right. And that's also, those are key words of the white bigot. When they see a black person speak a certain way, they go, oh, he's well-spoken.
Well, I don't like when people
if
are
this is the
called out as
exception.
racist or bigoted when you point out how nicely a black man speaks. It's very eloquent, just like it would be a white man speaking eloquently.
I've never heard
and
a white-
nicely.
It is funny, though. I've never heard white people or white politicians referred to as well-spoken.
Aren't you surprised when somebody from West Virginia, it's like, where are you from? West Virginia. And you're like, wow, you don't sound like you're from West Virginia. That right there
but
is
you
the
don't-
same thing.
That's a
You don't say you
location
speak
thing, though.
nicely.
But
That's a location thing.
Oh, I don't detect an
Location's
accent.
different.
You could call it whatever you want, location or
Well, it's
a
been-
culture or you know.
You got your brother on the line.
Oh, no.
Brother Joe.
Uh-oh. Hey, Joe.
No. What?
No.
What the negativity? Oh,
I'm just joking,
Oh,
Joe.
No, Joe's on the phone.
Because I've carefully positioned my chess pieces.
Yeah, no,
I don't need you flipping the board
think
over.
You're gonna knock out these.
From a military perspective, even as low down on the in the pecking order as a foot soldier, the guys that I was in the Army with that stepped up to become airborne troops,
Yeah.
or special forces or rangers, the black guys I'm talking about, were infinitely different from the guys that were that were regular leg troops or infantrymen, let's say.
Yeah.
Their intelligence level was they tried harder. They were more of a they were way more into what they were doing, and they weren't they weren't the kind of guys that would be back then rap really wasn't an issue, but it was
There was still a prison culture kind of a thing, and this perpetual victimization thing is what I don't get. Like I said, should they have had to prove themselves? No. Everybody should be start out on equal footing and whatnot. But then knowing that they had to go above and beyond, they went above and beyond and showed people. I mean, they had to face white officers that said black people could never fly a plane, never mind do it proficiently and get awards for what they did. But they knew they had to do it better than the white people, and they stepped up and did it. That is gone now.
Yeah. Well, you can see that on the military channel as well with that Surviving the Cut.
Yeah, I like that show too.
Those guys,
badass.
Anyone that goes above and beyond the bare minimum, being in the Army.
And it is anyone. You're right. It doesn't matter what your color is. If you go above and beyond, you're gonna be recognized for that, no matter who you are. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't get any special treatment either way. So
a movie that depicts the Tuskegee Airmen, I found way better than any other was Red Tails. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. I don't think it was good.
Red Tails, a lot of it. Yeah, there were
the one that sucked.
Is that George Lucas's movie?
Yes. It's terrible.
That was the one that Ant was saying. They were like, "Yo, Mr. Hitler."
Oh, wait, there was an
Mr.
HBO
Hitler.
movie called The Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
In a couple of spots, but it did show the kind of racism that these guys went, faced on a daily basis.
Wait, what was the HBO movie though called The Tuskegee Airmen?
Tuskegee Airmen.
Was that a documentary or a movie?
No, I think it was a movie.
It was.
Yeah.
Who was in that one? That's what I'm
I'm
thinking.
not sure who was in that one. They did make.
Hold on, who?
It was a.
I don't know who Cuba Gooding Jr. is.
Kenny.
Do you play the? I was almost said, do you play the tuba? And I'm like, oh, that would have been right.
Tuba. All right, Joe, take it easy, man. I'll talk to you.
We got Ari Shafir waiting. So
right.
We really got to take a
Lawrence
break.
Fishburne, thank you.
Was Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah.
He was great in Glory.
So white
He
people were
wasn't in
shitty.
Glory. It was the other guy.
White people were shitty to black people.
Apparently.
So yeah, he was defending black people.
No.
Yeah, he was.
Not at all.
No, I think I know white people were pretty shitty to black people, but I really did appreciate listening to these guys and how they realized and stepped up and really kind of they are real heroes that should be looked at and you should aspire to that
as opposed to.
But no, he should stop right there. See, he's defending black people right there.
As opposed to.
Well, we're going to get to that, obviously.
But not right now.
But I think he was even more surprised that they weren't homies.
No,
That's exactly what this. He goes, what? These guys aren't homies.
I knew that.
They
actually spoken. They spoke.
They're well
so
spoken.
I knew that.
How many young people always look up to the rebels though? Like young white kids.
Dude, a fuking fighter pilot?
No. I mean,
they are like the kick-ass motherfuckers to look up to.
But young people don't usually look up to the well-spoken. White, you don't look up to the guys who are genuinely. Like maybe in the 60s they looked up to, or the 70s they looked up to Buzz Aldrin. But you look at young people today, they don't look up to Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin. Like, you know what I mean? Great. They look up to fucking
2 Chainz.
Yeah, or fucking rock stars or whoever you want.
That's the encroachment of horrid criminal culture on young whites these days too.
There it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Satanism.
That's what I'm saying.
In the 80s, were they worshiping Buzz Aldrin? No, they were listening to fucking satanic
You
music.
do. You sound like Tipper Gore right now.
Exactly.
What?
I know.
Yeah. Parental advisory stickers.
That's right.
I'm not saying
That's
that.
what you're asking for.
I'm saying you
To
can
our young
listen.
people.
What the fuck?
Dee
Listen
Snider's
to-
going to be pissed at you.
I'm saying listen to whatever you want. But as far as hero worship goes, and if you want to speak like a fucking gangster, you're not going to get a good job.
What about Judas
That's what
Priest?
it is.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll continue with this in a few minutes. Stay there.
After these messages, the Opie and Anthony Show. We'll be right back.
All right, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, @Opie Radio, @Anthony Cumia, and @Jim Norton.